switch to the mic to you when you talk. So I think we should continue. So the speaker for the next session couldn't make it. So I'm going to spend 10 minutes talking on his topic. And then Patrick is going to talk about a related project. So this is connected to the NetBeans ecosystem. And I think one of the most interesting developments outside of Apache NetBeans is OpenBeans. So there's a web page you can go to, openbeans.org. So what that is a NetBeans distribution. So in the way that you can think about it is, in the way that there is Ubuntu and Debian, there is OpenBeans and Apache NetBeans. So potentially anyone could take Apache NetBeans as their starting point and create their own distribution, so long as they follow the Apache governance rules around that. And this person has done that. His name is Emilian Bold. And so this is just to introduce you briefly to OpenBeans. So yeah, that's how to think about it. It's a distribution. It's like Ubuntu. It could have patches. It could have additional features added to it, which means it's no longer Apache NetBeans. It's something different, and it has its own unique name. It's got its own open source repository that you can commit to, potentially. At the time that the donation was initially taking place, the code was closed source. The kind of political issue was this could come across like a fork. And it's not a fork of NetBeans. It's a different distribution. It was initially called CoolBeans, and it's now called OpenBeans. So the question is, who is using it? And actually also why? So I think the very best thing about OpenBeans is that with Apache, we are not allowed to distribute the JDK with NetBeans. And that's because the JDK is GPL licensed, and anything that is GPL licensed, Apache doesn't want to have anything to do with. So in the past, NetBeans was always bundled together with the Oracle JDK and made available from oracle.com. So you would download a package that would be NetBeans and the JDK and an installer to set everything up. Now we can't do that anymore, at least not from Apache. Because the JDK is GPL licensed, we can't distribute anything with the JDK from Apache. And this is a big problem for many people. So not so much if you're some kind of hardcore developer, you have multiple JDKs lying around. But if you're a student or somebody getting started with Java, or not even Java, imagine you're using NetBeans with PHP. So you have no idea about Java at all. You're using NetBeans as a PHP environment or a JavaScript environment. And then you're told, well, first you have to go and find out some JDK to use, and then you have to install that, and then you install NetBeans. That's a big block for non-Java developers getting started with NetBeans. So the nice thing about OpenBeans is you can just download it, and you have a JDK, and what is bundled with OpenBeans is adopt OpenJDK, but they could have chosen anything. From a development point of view, from what you run NetBeans itself on, it doesn't really matter which JDK you are using. And so the question is, who is actually using this? It's a range of different people from different countries. You can see Brazil, India, US are the popular places where it's being used. The most important thing is the fact that it's a JDK out of the box. And maybe we can solve it in Apache somehow, but for the moment, this is the way to get a distribution. You could imagine that JDK vendors might take a NetBeans because it's Apache licensed and bundle it with their JDK. You could imagine Azure or any organization that, Red Hat, they could take Apache NetBeans, include their JDK, make an installer available as a way to promote their JDK, especially now that there are so many different JDKs, so many different implementations, all based on OpenJDK. You might think, well, it would be nice as a way to compete between different JDKs, to have one with tools included. So potentially it could happen in other organizations too. It's got signed installers. included. And what it also has that is special is C++ support. So as I mentioned earlier, the donation process is taking a long time, and there's different donations that are taking place. The one that hasn't been completed yet is the C++ parts. So we haven't been able to distribute NetBeans C++ features from Apache because it hadn't been donated yet. However, it's free and open source, GPL license from Oracle. So Emilian Bode, the person behind OpenBeans, just took the C++ code and included it in his distribution. And now you have the full NetBeans IDE that there was at the time of the donation available as OpenBeans. And there's a few native additions, notification center on Mac OS. There's also improvements with the Maven indexing built in. Initially, the idea that he had was to target Mac OS X, but then he found out from his statistics that the majority of people, a lot of people were using Windows, so he's focusing more on Windows now. Yeah, GPL is on category X list, and for that reason the JDK can't be bundled with Apache NetBeans. So in the future, a number of additional features could be added. One of these is Python. Now, Python hasn't been donated yet either to Apache. It's in the Oracle contrib repository. It hasn't been included yet, so that's also a next step. And it's something that could be included in this distribution as well. Also, a nice feature is you can get free stickers. So if you write to him, if you go to this website, codeswith.com/sticker, you can order a sticker and you get a free sticker. And the homepage is this. And here is a list of the features. And it's one person making it. And you can also donate to him to support this effort. I think it's been really valuable in this time of transition where we haven't donated everything yet, and also we haven't figured out how to bundle the JDK with NetBeans yet. And so this is a perfect solution, at least for the interim, and we'll see in time how valuable and what additions might be added to this distribution. But in theory, anyone could be doing this. Any organization could take Apache NetBeans as a starting point and add their own additions on top. And in fact, this is actually what Patrick is doing. So it's a nice transition maybe